There, it's Nursing Geek. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to a probably a bit overdue, but couldn't have done it till today, channel update. I'm gonna work on a little build in this location that I have chosen for a very specific location, that I've chosen for a very specific reason, in a world that I don't expect to ever use again after this recording, except maybe to, I don't know, test builds and stuff. But yeah, enjoy the building while I talk through some of the things that I expect are coming up for the channel and why they may or may not pan out the way I expect. Although really the answer to that is just, life. So let's take things in some kind of order here. Let's start with the greenhouse, since that has till recently been the content I've been uploading the most frequently, is greenhouse episodes. On the greenhouse, I'm suffering from late game syndrome, in which it takes an awful lot of time to pull together enough of anything to actually make an episode out of. So I anticipate that it's probably going to continue to be not a whole lot, but it will continue. Likely I will have more in the way of events and such that I stream and or build stuff for or whatever, and then turn into episodes. So it could be on Twitch and then come over here as a VOD, or might just be made into an episode, depending on the situation and what exactly is involved. So not going anywhere, but probably also still kind of infrequent, again, just because of the nature of being further on in the game, and so projects end up being bigger and taking more time. Eternia. So Eternia's kind of had a little bit of late game syndrome, but also kind of just a lack of inspiration, as well as kind of deciding that there were some things I wanted to do that were best left until 1.20. And Eternia is updating to 1.20 this weekend, anticipating, barring any technical problems, because we all know Minecraft loves to throw technical problems at people. So I expect there will be something coming from Eternia soon. Not only because the most recent project I had been doing over there, which is the resort area behind Arthuria, I had decided that I really didn't like I wanted to use new blocks, but I didn't want to use as much mangrove and deep slate as I was, because they were just too dark for what the area needed as a feel. So that will probably, I'll probably do some of that, make an episode out of that. And also I have an idea for some 1.20 specific stuff I want to do, probably in a different area away from Arthuria. And I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like, and I'm not going to say anything more about it until I know what that's going to look like, because otherwise you'll be able to come back here and say, no, you said you were going to do this, and it ended up being this other thing. So, yeah. So there's that. Mage Rage. Mage Rage, I've been strictly streaming on Twitch, and intend to continue doing that, and then just bringing the VODs over to YouTube for anybody who actually wants to catch them. As episodes, they just don't seem to be of that much interest to people, and they're a lot of work to edit into episodes. That's like a huge component of making episodes in general, is the editing. So if it makes more sense to stream a thing, I'm going to stream it. And that's going to be how Mage Rage goes. And it will probably continue that Lady Viv and I are running quite behind, and just because life. So that's how I would expect things to continue with Mage Rage. I had meant there will likely be other short-term projects. Like I had mentioned, I wanted to do another one block run once 1.20 dropped. I thought I was going to try to do that this summer. That hasn't happened yet. One thing I will say for sure is a lesson learned from last time is that whatever I do, I am not going to start uploading anything until the whole thing's recorded, because I don't want to find myself mid-semester putting myself, and it was strictly coming from me, under the pressure I did last spring of still wanting to have an episode a week, even though I was really kind of too busy to be doing that. So however long it takes is however long it takes, and I'll upload episodes once I upload them. Or maybe I'll decide it's just a thing to stream. Who knows? Probably not. That I feel like works as episodes. Just it has to be all done before putting any of it up, I think. And there are other things. I was trying to organize a thing that I think, between just various tech issues and life issues and everything else, is probably not going to happen this summer after all. But it could. So there may be other short-term things that come up. But there are two things that are almost definitely coming up. One of which starts today in like, an hour from when I'm recording this. So by the time this goes up, I may have already streamed it. I'm joining 2 more SMPs. For radically different reasons. One of which I had been planning on and had been talking about for a while. And one of which was kind of a spur of the moment decision, and that's the one that's starting today. And that is Titancraft, which is Tango Tech's Patreon server. You can start recovering from that, heart attack you're having now. I would not have expected me to end up on Titancraft either, because you would tend to think that this would be a place that you would be more likely to play if you were either into A, massive overkill builds, or massive overkill redstone. Neither of which is a thing that I'm likely to do ever. I'll never say never, because I know that jinxes me, but it's unlikely. And it is certainly not why I decided to join. I actually decided to join because of a project that is going to be happening on Season 9 of Titancraft with Mrs. Tango. And both she and Tango have talked about this on stream, so the existence of this project is not a spoiler. Mrs. Tango and several of us from her Discord are going to be working on creating Barbie Land on Titancraft. You can recover from your second heart attack now. Yes, I know it's probably unusual to be seeing me doing so much in like pastel-y pink as it is, doing this build, which, yes, is probably more or less what my build, my base, quote unquote, on Titancraft is likely to look like. But here's the thing. I know a lot of people who are doing this are probably doing it for nostalgia reasons. I'm not, because I actually wasn't allowed to play Barbie when I was a kid. And to a certain extent, I definitely understand why that was a rule that my parents had, that we were not allowed to, we definitely couldn't have Barbies, and we weren't supposed to play with our friends' Barbie sets. It was a thing. I agree with some of their rationales. I think it could have been handled differently. And I strongly disagree with some of their rationales. I haven't yet seen the movie that obviously is what inspired this project. From what I've heard about it from people whose opinions I trust, though, it sounds like it has a really good message, and it's a message I strongly approve of and wish had been part of the conversation around Barbie when I was a kid. Could it have been done better? Reading reviews and things? Probably. Most things can be done better than they are. But the point is, it's a message that I believe in, just in terms of empowering women and empowering men, empowering people to have agency in their lives is what I gather is a lot of the message of the movie. And I like that. And I spent really the past week since Mrs. Tango suggested and kind of latched onto the idea until yesterday during the latter half of Tango Tech's end of season, second half of his world tour. When I was finally like, I've been debating this all week. Clearly, if I still have this much interest, I should just go ahead and do it. The odds are my role will likely be grinding stuff, because that's the stuff that I find relaxing in Minecraft, and maybe some building. So in terms of what'll show up on the channel, I don't really know. I am planning to stream today's day one, which is, go run around, punch a tree, and get started. There's no spoilers to be had there. Within Barbie Land, I'm going to want to be very conscious of not giving spoilers away to other people's stuff, and so I don't know what that's going to look like, whether anything will happen in the way of episodes. And if I'm mostly just chopping trees and grinding concrete, nobody wants to watch hours and hours of that. So I won't really probably stream that either, unless I just feel like doing a stream, and it'll basically be a just chatting stream while I convert a bunch of concrete. um, or chop down a whole bunch of cherry trees. Whatever. Um, but yeah, so, and I think I had already said this is like take 3 on the audio on this, so maybe I haven't. Forgive me if I'm repeating myself, but that's why I chose this location between the Cherry Grove and the Ruined Portal, because Cherry Grove has the pink that goes with Barbie, and the Ruined Portal has all Tango's colors. Plus just the nethery feel, because he's done a lot. He's known for a lot of real nethery builds. So yeah, there's that. I think I mentioned one of the reasons I was debating whether this was a good idea is because I'm also starting something else, which is something I had been talking about for longer, and I don't know if it actually. Well, I talked about it on stream yesterday while I was doing some Carlisle stuff, but I don't know if anybody heard me because of my microphone issues. I've been thinking about doing something towards improving my understanding of and ability to do stuff with armor stands. In part because for Carlisle, if one of the things I want it to be is something that I can offer as a downloadable map as part of, like, a launch party for whenever I finish at least book 1 of the series that I'm building this world for, then I don't want people to also have to download a mod or download. They'll need Mizuno's texture pack, but CITs can be massively laggy. So armor stands, from what I understand from Zombie Cleo, if they are without they've had gravity turned off and they are locked, do not contribute to lag any more than any other block in the game. So I want to learn to get better at not just using armor stands. There are plenty of people I know who are excellent with armor stands that I could learn more just about how to do more with them. I think I need to kind of learn by osmosis how to envision this is a thing I could do with an armor stand. Just to even catch that as a possibility. And then figure out the technicalities. And I think that's something that's going to be more from osmosis of just being around a lot of people who are doing stuff like that. So from that server, I do think there will likely be episodes. I still don't know what the content creation policy is there. Patreon's being Patreon and being weird, so I don't think I'm going to actually know anything until after the 1st of August. Which is in 2 days. But Patreon being Patreon, I don't expect to learn anything on the 1st of August. So I think there will be episodes from there that will probably be along the lines of, hey, I learned to do a thing, and here is what I can do with that thing. And that will probably then bleed over into Carlisle somehow, since that's the goal. So yeah, that's some of what's coming up. Thank you very much for sticking around to watch this little update. I hope any of that sounded interesting. I am heading into what looks to be the busiest fall semester I will have ever had. So any of that could change on a moment's notice. Likely I will at least get to play in these other servers and also continue doing stuff on the greenhouse and whatever during August. But we'll see what happens once school starts. Because yeah, looking to be a really busy semester. But that's the kind of plan we have at the moment. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you choose to stick around to see some of that. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.